Hello, welcome to Captain Stitches. This is a live stitch and chat in the cottage. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Sherry. It's great to see you in the live chat this afternoon, almost evening. You say, can't wait to see what you're doing today. Well, thank you, Sherry. Um, I'm just sitting here stitching on several projects at not all at one time, but kind of at the same time. So I decided what a great time to go live and just sit and chat with some of my friends today while I do some stitching and kind of share what's been going on and what I'm working on. And so welcome, welcome. But let me get this out, and then because I'm going to be stitching so you can see what I'm actually doing and follow along and watch me, I'm going to be using the overhead camera. But before I do that, a couple of the larger projects that I'm working on, I'll go ahead and show you what they are before I switch over to that and talk a little bit about the one that I am currently stitching on. So first of all, I do believe that I shared this one behind me before, and I'm still working on it because it's kind of been put to the side, but it is the Running Scared, and I am working on the hand quilting of that, and I'm doing that in a big stitch hand quilting. So that's one that I am still working on and hope to get on the table by Thanksgiving. So working on that. Hello, Christine. Welcome to you this afternoon. Great to see you. But then also one of the things that um, have also been working on, and I'm going to grab that. I'm trying to decide which one I want to share first with you. This past weekend. Hello, Agnes. Welcome, welcome. Great to see you here. And Christiana, welcome to you as well, all the way from Italy. Welcome, welcome. Which I've got thread hanging on here, so I have to be careful. But this past weekend I held a private virtual retreat on Zoom with some close friends. And during that retreat, the main thing that was taught, oops, as I try not to pull everything else down off on here, was the double wedding ring. And sorry, I can't hold this real close, but they all made one ring of a wedding ring at least. Some were able to get more than that done, but I have two different colorways that I put together and decided to put mine into a table runner. But it was taught both using hand piecing and by machine. And then also, as you can see, there is embroidery work that is in the middle of the double wedding ring. And on this one, you can see that it has the crayon color tinting technique. So that was also taught during the retreat. But I started hand quilting this with a regular hand quilting stitch. I didn't like the way that it was coming out, so I've decided that I am going to do that also in big stitch quilting so that the stitching shows up better on this, and because there are so many seams. But so I'm also working on that. Let me make sure. Hello, Carol. Welcome to you as well this afternoon. So that those are two of the larger projects that I have been working on. And then also one of the other projects, which is a block of the month. And it is a block of the month making the quilt that is in this book, Vintage Flower Sampler Quilt. And each month there is one pieced block and one applique block. So I have both blocks done for the month of October. Oops, yeah, this is the applique block, all completed. It's called Ping Pong Mums, and this is actually a quilt that is designed by a Japanese designer. So, and then the pieced block for the month was corn and beans, and that is that block. So I have those both done. I'm all caught up in that block of the month, which is awesome and wonderful. But and that is block of the month is through Intrepid Thread, which I do have the link, her link for her website in the show notes below, so you can check that out there. So then what I'm working on today is this little, and I will do a close-up on this when I start stitching, but it is a Field of Blooms embroidery centers that goes along with the Fields of Fancy block of the month. These are the blocks that we are doing, one of the blocks that we are doing. It is a hexagon quilt, and we are doing 6 different hexagons a month in that one. So this is the one that has the little blooms of flowers, and you can see in there is a little teeny tiny embroidery. And that's what is on this panel that I am doing. So I have those centers done for when we make the flowers, which they are done. It'll look like this when they're done. They're done with EPP, and then they are appliqued down on the background and trimmed and put into the hexagon. So that's what I'm currently working on. And I do have a couple that I will show you that are done in the other ways that we will also be doing them. So I'm going to switch over to my overhead camera so you will be able to actually see that and see what I am doing. We've got that there, but these are 2 of the other blocks, and you can see how they'll all go together. But there is an embroidery block each month, and this is the embroidery block for the month of October, which it doesn't have the crayon color tinting technique included on there. I added that, and if I do that a little, the house is actually a real light blue, and did have done that in the crayon color tinting technique first, and then did the embroidery. So that is one of the blocks, one of the 6 blocks that are done for the month of October. And then we also get a fabric that is called Acufactum, and we fussy cut that however we want, or however we want to use that, and that makes up one of them as well. And you can see that instead of just leaving it plain, I also chose to do some embellishing with embroidery on that, and also added some beadwork on that. So I have those 2 complete and have 4 others to go, which the suggested 6 blocks that we do are to do one of the embroidery. Thank you, Sherry. To do one of the embroidery, one out of the Acufactum. Yeah, did I do that backwards? One out of the embroidery, one out of the Acufactum fabric fussy cut, and then 3 of the blooms, and then there will be 1 applique. However, I'm only going to do 2 of the blooms because I want to do 2 of the embroidery, or something that is a little bit of my own personal design, possibly throwing in little slow stitch, idea or whatever on some of the middles of some of them. So that is what I'm working on, and that is also through Intrepid Thread, and the as I said, the information for that, and through who you can get this linen, if she still carries it. The information for the pre-printed linen panel is also in the show notes if anyone is interested in that. So with all that said, we're just going to chat a little while I work on the embroidery of these little blooms on here, which you can see I already have. Yeah, I have the top row done, and I have a few out of order. That's because if there was the Valdani Pearl cotton is what I'm using. Still left on the needle. I went and looked to see what else I might want to use that on. So we have some splattered around that. Also have some work done on that. But right now I'm working on this little flower right here, doing a stem stitch all the way. Yeah, of course. We just pulled a little too quickly on there and got a little knot in there. I need to get out quickly before it becomes a knot I can't get out. There we go. Just gotta pull that a little bit slower through there. There we go. Okay, shouldn't have quite such a long thread, and since it's been sitting here, I'm gonna let that dangle down and untwist here before I get started again. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Get that back in position to be stitching. But yes, hexies, which they're a larger size hexie than what I'm used to. Well, the finished one now, the blooms and stuff that are inside here are small. They're like a 1/2 inch hexie for the middle of the bloom, and then yeah, they're rather small, but fun to work with. Let me get this in the position that I need here. And so yeah, these seem tiny to work with, all these little blooms and flowers here that are for the centers, but they're fun and enjoyable to do. And as you know, I always say it's embroidery and handwork and this type of stitching are very calming and relaxing, and a great way to just sit back, enjoy, and clear your mind. Just let all the worries of the day and everything go away. All you have to do is just concentrate on the thread and needle going through the fabric in your hands. But I also have, still have some quilting projects ongoing as well that are piecing. Just don't happen to be working on them right now. have a lot of them to catch up on, but some of the other things that I've been doing is making plans and scheduling for the upcoming year. I like to be organized and know what I'm going to at least be trying to do when. And if there's things I need to put on the schedule for others, I need to know what those are also. Yeah, I'm sorry, it wouldn't come out right. Sherry says that also that hand stitching does have a calming effect. Yes, it does. I mean, for probably not when you're first learning. It might be a little stressful and frustrating at times, but once you get going and get the hang of it, you find that it is very, very meditative, very therapeutic, and very calming. It's also very portable, so unlike a large sewing machine that you don't want to lug around with you in a doctor's waiting office or something like that, or have to sit down and sit behind to use. Hand stitching you can take with you anywhere and be working on it at any time. So that's another thing that's nice about hand stitching and having that in your repertoire of things to be able to do. If, your husband and your sons or whatever, relatives, just love football and sports and you don't, you can still be in the room, sharing conversation with them, but focusing on your hand stitching instead of the game. Yet if you have kids that are in sports, you can take your stitching along to their practices and that type of thing and still get plenty of work done. And I'm using a variegated thread on this little flower. I like to use variegated threads as much as I can. Gives it a little bit more depth and value that way. But so all of you that are in the chat, what are you currently working on? I'd love to share that with the group, see what everybody's doing, what everybody's been up to. It's been quite a while since I've been able to do an actual live. In fact, I was a little worried on whether I was going to remember exactly all the steps in doing it, and preparing for it and everything, but seems to have gone on without a hitch, so that's good. But yeah, these flowers are small, so the trick to being able to do them and get all around the curves and keep it nice and even is to take, there we got a knot going in again. That's because my thread is just cut a little bit on the long side, but didn't want to have to rethread the needle. Sherry is doing EPP on a 40-inch Dresden plate table topper. Okay, awesome. I'll have to hope that I can get the opportunity to hop on one of your lives, and hopefully you'll be sharing that, Sherry, so I can check that out. Sounds like that would be an awesome and beautiful project also. Change my hand position there. Okay. Now I know some of the others of you that are in the chat are working on something. Or have plans for working on something you can share with us as well. Should have grabbed another needle before I came on, because I know I'm going to want to do a different color in that middle. And I'm not exactly sure what I want to put in that. How I want to do the middle of this one yet. But I do know that I want the French knots in this one next to it done in yellow, so I will probably go on to that. next instead while I have the yellow. Go slow here. We got everything piling up at once there. Yeah. You always want to keep an eye on that when you're doing that, and that will keep you from getting a tight knot in there because you can see it. And then the trick is just to make sure that you're going slow, and sometimes just put your hand down there until you get to the shorter part of your floss or pearl cotton or whatever it is you are using. So you don't, I'm going to have to do a real teeny tiny stitch there to make sure that it goes around the curve and doesn't go straight over. Instead, there we go. And now finish it off right there. So, oh, we got a glare there. So that is what I just finished stitching with a stem stitch around those petals. I'm going to finish that off on the back here. I can get my needle to go underneath the stitch, which I just go under a couple of the stitches. I don't do a knot. That'll hold it. Trim that off. So this one right here, I know I want those dots to be French knots in yellow, so I'm going to go ahead and do those now while I have that color thread on my needle. Hello, Jim. Sorry, I didn't see you pop on. Great to see you. You'll have to go back to the beginning and see what I showed on the other things that I'm currently working on and stitching on, but lots of handwork going on right now. Now I'm debating how many wraps I want to do on these. We're going to do 2. I don't want it to be real big and overpowering. So I could just do, one of these at a time, trim it, put it on the little hexagon center EPP paper, but I decided it would be a lot easier if I just went ahead and did all of them. And then they'd be prepared, ready as I go, and would make things go along a little quicker, I believe. So, what are you currently working on, Jim? I asked that question earlier, so would love to know. Hello, Mona. It is great to see you. I could. Oh, except it's over there. I didn't bring the little pouch over that has the templates in for the size that these go on. But when I get done with these French knots, I might see if I can reach and grab that, and I'll show you. They're quite small. But fun. I've been enjoying doing this project. Hello, So Terry. It's great to see you. Welcome. Awesome. Been a while. How are you doing? Course, like I say, I haven't been live for a long time. I mean, even my recorded ones are have been far and few between. Just a lot going on in the background and personal lives right now. So I think I just kind of answered that, Terry. Things are going, not, of course, as planned, but okay for right now. And I have to take it day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. And that's okay. We're still blessed. And that's the important thing. Now I'm going to look and see if there's any other that I need to go ahead and, while we've got this on the needle, we'll just go down and see if there's any I want to do in this. I was thinking I was wanting to do this one down here in the yellow. So we'll go ahead and do that one. Somebody's eating chocolate. I am sewing up a chocolate influenced quilt pattern. Oh, all right. I've got one of those from way back. That is a block of the month. Yeah, it's not an official block of the month. It is one that I'm doing myself as a block of the month. And it's all has to do with chocolate. And yes, I'm not talking about the color of the fabric, but oh, so that's interesting. Quilting, oh no, don't encourage me, okay? Hello, Shirley. It's great to see you as well. So there's several others that have YouTube channels. I'm sure you know that are on here right now. Sherry, My Quilting World. Mona did what? Is on. So Terry has a channel. Don't think I'm missing anyone. Oh, and Around to It has a channel. So yeah, make sure I think most everyone on here is already familiar with them, but if you're not, please go check their channels out. They all do awesome, awesome things. So Terry lived around here, I'd be seeing if she could paint my featherweight. Not one to want to have to mail things like that off, so not going to do that. So Terry is telling Shirley that she recently made her FPP table runner. Looks like S's. Okay, that sounds interesting. So it sounds like everybody is staying busy. We have got a wet, cloudy, cold, rainy day here. Also rained yesterday, and I believe it's supposed to rain the next 2 days. I'm thankful I don't live in hurricane territory, though. How are the dogs? They are awesome and growing. Stitches has quite the attitude. And I have to look and check. Oops, he just came around behind me. Just a minute and I'll switch cameras and I'll I'll let you all see Whip. I think he heard me say stitches and knew I was talking about dogs. Mona says she just got home. Mom won one game. You won one game. Aunt was a big loser. Okay, you must have gone to bingo. Okay, let me get this. Switch while he's still here. Let me bring this up to the front of my fabric so I can park my needle. Switch back over to the other camera here for a minute. Hopefully it'll switch right. Okay, come here, Whip. Come here, buddy. Come here. People want to see you. Oh, he's a little harder to pick up now. He's gotten quite big. Still loves to give the hugs though, don't you? Yes, you love to give good hugs and kisses. Can you give a kiss? Thank you. Yeah, and he likes to have his back scratched, of course, and his ears. Gotta take care of him. He is my buddy. But yes, he is such a polite and great buddy to have around. Very smart. Oh my word, how gorgeous is he? Thank you, Terry. Yes, he's grown a bit, hasn't he? And he does need to lose some weight. He's got quite the fat little belly on him. So, but yes, there he is. Aren't you? Yes, you just keep giving hugs, don't you? Yes, yes, yes. Are you going to get down now? Can you get down now? Oh, you're going to give a different hug? Okay. Okay, you're going to go lay down. You're going to go lay down? Say bye-bye. No, that was a hug. Say bye-bye, everyone. Okay, get down. There you go. There you go. Now he thinks he needs a treat, so we'll have to do that. There we go. You can have one of those. Okay, good boy. All right. So there was Whip for you all to see. What a great dog, Cuddly. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Very much so. And too smart for his own good sometimes. But he can he can he can figure out how to trick you, how to get exactly what he wants, but also just very smart and intelligent overall. But yeah, I'll go ahead and switch back to the overhead now and just continue to stitch. There we go. Find my needle. But yeah, once I finish all these, I'm actually okay. You're gonna be if you all want to hear how far behind I am in a block of the month, how old this whip is. Oops, different kind of whip. um, yeah, this block of the month actually started in 2023. I never was able to get around to starting it due to circumstances, so I am just starting it now in October 2025. But my goal is to keep up to date and current every month until it is completed now. So they do have a new group that started just this October, so I'm able to follow along with that, and that helps. And so I've got 2 of the 6 blocks done for the month. The other 3 should go by really quickly. So my goal is to have them all done by the end of this month. And my goal today is to have all of these on this panel all stitched up. And the one EPP blossom made, which those of you that know me know that I work rather late out here, so that should be possible. And there on that one that I just did, you can see how and that looks a little green, but it's a yellow with different gold tones in it, and it gives it depth by changing colors because it's a variegated thread throughout. So we've got that one almost done. It's the centers I always do. Yeah, not with the same thread and not with the same stitch. So that's why I kind of look and see if there's anything else I want to use with the color of pearl cotton that I already have on my needle. But I don't think I do. So we're going to go ahead and take that off there. I know I want a purple because I'm going to go ahead and these are our grapes down here done with all French knots. These were strawberries down here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one right now. And that's not going to be a long enough thread. So let me find. Isn't it amazing how you can just have taken that off there and then you can't find, there it is, popped out. Can't find where the thread end is. Able to start another one. And I'm not even going to attempt to thread that without the needle threader because I'm using a rather small hold. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the little bee down there turned out quite cute. I just did, oops, where the drawer goes there, my thread has a tendency to get caught in that crack quite often. Be stitching along and wonder, why is my thread not coming? And it gets stuck in this. I don't think you can see that. It's not in the camera view, but where the drawer is on the desk. Yeah, so before I get started on that, I'll hold that up and let you see the little bee there closer. But yep, he or she is quite cute. Now I'm just gonna work on all these French knots on the grape. Oops. Get a hold of it. And okay, I did 2 wraps on the strawberries, so that should work on these. Now, kind of show you what I do over here. I have, these are the drawers that I keep all my Valdani in. They're, you know, they stack. I'm trying to get so you can see the front of it there, but they stack, and there's 2. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that I think they hold 5 drawers each. But instead of having to get up and go over and find what color I want every time, when I'm stitching on a project that I know I'm going to be using several and don't know what colors I want, I just go and I have from the bottom to the top, I just stack my drawers beside me so I can just reach over. And there's 2 more besides the one that I have here, and they're all in order, of course, by number for how you get them, but they're sitting over to the side so I can can just reach in there, look at them, and find what color I want to use when. So I do majority of my embroidery and my slow stitching using Valdani pearl cotton. I use DMC floss, of course, when I am doing counted cross stitch, but I don't use it for my embroidery. My preference is the pearl cotton in a 12 weight for the embroidery. I will use size 8 also, but I will not use a size 5 when I'm doing embroidery. That's a little too much on the thick side. Now I might use it if I was doing crewel embroidery, but definitely not regular embroidery. This is nice having this all pre-printed on this linen panel. Oh, I was going to grab the template and show you. Get that in there and my needle up for the other one so I don't lose my place. Let me grab that real quick. Be in here. I'll show you the size that yeah. We'll get them both out while we're here. But once these are stitched, we take this little template here, and let me see where it, and you center it on there. You gotta watch because this you got to turn the 1/4 inch yet, so you have to make sure it's centered. But and then you cut that out, and that ends up being the center. These is the template for the little bloom flower petals. So that ends up being the center of the flower. And these are the actual, let me see here, we'll grab. These are the finished size. Those are the papers and that they're put on and stitched. And those are all in there. Oops. Have that from the wrong. Okay, there we are. And this project on mine is all out of Tilda fabrics. So you had your choice of either Tilda or Liberty, and I chose the Tilda. So you all know how I love Tilda fabrics. And I do, oops, let's wrap that again. It seemed to kind of come off the tip of the needle there when I pulled it down. But I'm not sure exactly when, and I'm not going to give up the secret until it comes in, but I did place an order last night on a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pattern that I came across. Let's just say I don't think it can be completed in a year. It's all done by hand. And when it comes in, I will share it with you all, and you will see how many oohs and ahs we get when I do that, because it is just a gorgeous. Sherry says she was looking on Etsy for the linen, and it sold out. Okay, did you actually check her if you're talking about the linen panel, she has an actual website. And that link is in the show notes, which I'll repeat it here. It is www.lilabellanecreations.com. So not sure whether that is available or not, but you might want to check there also. And that, like I said, that's also in the description box. Now I know which this is the actual template for, sorry, forget where I'm at, for making the centers and the outer part, which that's all one piece on that part, and then the center. And I was able to find this template still on Amazon. So you might want to check there. Just look for Field of Blooms acrylic template and see if that comes up if you're interested in that. Don't know if they still have any available or not. Shouldn't have let go of that French knot while I was doing it. We'll hope it still comes out. Not a good stitch to let go of once you start making that. Doesn't quite lie as flat when you do that, but it's okay. That's one stitch you want to kind of make sure you complete before letting go of. You have to hold that thread down. I don't know what some of these flowers are even supposed to be. So I just make them out the colors that I want and whatever I want them to be. Oh, we got a little silence there. Don't know if you could hear Whip was squeaking one of his toys, but I think that usually blocks that sound on here. So thankfully. I like that the Zoom cancellation, the noise cancellation is on here. So you don't hear most of the noises that happen in the background. Tomorrow, no, not tomorrow. 2 days is Halloween. Anybody going to any Halloween parties and dressing up for Halloween? If so, what are you dressing up as? I think I'll dress up as a stitcher. Then it doesn't matter what I have on. I'm always stitching, so. I forget who somebody asked something, and I said my reply when somebody asks a certain question is, if I'm sitting, I'm stitching. So for the most part. If I'm sitting and I'm not stitching, that means my mind is just, a blank stare, trying to focus and figure out where I am and what I'm doing. Or it's just because I'm overwhelmed and stressed out and just checked out for a moment. But what are you working on currently, Mona? I haven't been able to catch and watch any of yours for a while. Are you doing a bag or are you doing a quilt? Or something totally different? It's hubby's birthday on Halloween. All right. Awesome. Thank you for mentioning birthday. I have a good friend whose birthday is today. I need to call and wish her a happy birthday when I'm done with this video. She's turning, yeah, 89 today. I need to remember to do that. Halloween is quite the day to have a birthday. One of those everybody decorates, maybe not in the way you like decorations, but everything is decorated for your birthday as you drive around, huh? Getting through these French knots pretty quickly. Oops, missed the spot. Reminds me of when I lived in a different city in Ohio, and we had a grape arbor in our backyard. Must say that attracts a lot of bees in your yard. So, oops, I think I just got a knot on the back there. Felt that. There we go. They are beautiful and it's nice to have the grapes, but you definitely have to put up with some bees at a certain time of year. I did finally break down and get the Juki TL 2010, whatever it is. Um, I did get it out of the box. I did set it up on the area on the other side of my quilting cabinet, but I have not turned it on yet. I haven't had the time to sit down. I'm one that when I get a new sewing machine, no matter what it is, I read through the entire manual before I turn the machine on. And I have not had the opportunity to do that. Yes, a Juki. I used to do a lot of bag making, and I have some bags and totes and organizers and things like that that I want to get back into making again. So I decided I wanted to go ahead and get the Juki for doing that. Not that the sewing machine I have won't. It's just that it's getting old. I got a shadow there. I had to see if that was 2 dots or 1 dot there. It's getting a little older and I want to save the wear and tear on it. And so got the other one to be able to use for making the bags and stuff that are heavier. Still trying to get to where I can get busy on the long arm and get caught up on all the quilts I have that need to be quilted. One of these days I'll surprise you and I'll be at the long arm quilting instead. Every time I get the area on the back of it cleaned, something happens and a bunch of stuff gets temporarily put there again. Just never enough room for storage. I can officially say I do, on the question, can you ever have too much fabric? Yes, because I have no more room on my shelves or anywhere, the drawers, any place, any of the units, cabinets, all of the storage areas that I have out here. I actually use a piece of cardboard to slide the fabric in and out. I cannot slide the cardboard without fabric on it in any place now. So yeah, and yet I seem to keep buying fabric, so it kind of has to go someplace until I can find a spot to put it. And unfortunately, I buy fabric quicker than I quilt or stitch. So there's a little bit of a problem there. Don't know if any of the rest of you have that same problem. I'm sure you do. I keep trying and trying and trying to reorganize and make more space, which everything gets neatly reorganized, but I never seem to find any more space. It's just fun coming across projects that you forgot that you had, and they seem like, oh, something new. It's like, oh, I want to do that. But I'm looking to see if there was anything with this color, but I also see that I'm almost been on for an hour now, so I'm gonna flip back to the other view. There I am. And see if there's anything anybody has any question or comment about on what I've been doing today. I gotta show you my coffee cup, because doesn't that look like whip on my coffee cup I have for fall? I think it does. So it's like, there he is on my coffee cup also. But exciting. So, but I am going to continue for the rest of the day and evening, except for the times that I have to go inside and take care of hubby. I'm going to continue to be working on finishing all of this up and then start working on the other ones that I need for this month on these to have completed. And hopefully maybe get a little bit more done on quilting. Yeah, hand quilting the double wedding ring, which for those of you that popped on late, I'll hold that up one more time and show that. There is the double wedding ring that I've been working on and taught that in a virtual retreat that was just this past weekend. Taught it both for those that wanted to learn in hand piecing and those that wanted to learn in machine quilting. So it was taught both ways, and also the crayon color tinting technique was also taught during that time. So have that, and I am doing big stitch hand quilting on that, but that was shown in the beginning, so that's different. Yeah, it was shown Was class samples. So one was with the light background, one was with a dark background. So that's why the two different rings and being joined together that way. But thank you. But so if no one has any other questions or comments, I will go ahead and thank you once again. Make sure that I have covered everything I wanted to cover in the live. It was just really just a casual stitch and chat. Hopefully I'll find more times. They won't be scheduled except long enough to at least give you, notification that I'm coming on, but because I don't know when I will be able to come on at any given time or not. So don't look for any regular schedule. I don't have a regular schedule, can't keep a regular schedule right now. But when I am sitting here and think, okay, maybe this is something somebody would like to see as I'm working on it, if I have the time and opportunity, I will pop on, either doing a recorded that I always usually schedule as a premiere, so at least you can be in the chat while it is on for the first time. Haven't done a live in a long time. Like I said, I was hoping I remembered all the steps and everything went great, so that's good. So hopefully I'll start being able to see and share with you more. But thank you everyone that joined me this afternoon on such short notice. It was great to see you all, and I hope to get over to your channels and get caught up on watching all of you as well. Thank you. It was good to see you too. And the pup. Yep, not quite such a pup anymore. He's going to be 2 years old in December. And Stitches was 2 years old this month. So, yep. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And remember, until next time, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye, everyone.